Hello again, this is my fourth Jonny's journal now. Really enjoying doing them. Today I'm going to be talking about Jesse Lingard, just about my feelings towards him really. A lot of fans are quite mixed, mainly depending on maybe like the age range of the fan. But yeah, so just to let you know where we are, it's the 21st of July. So Inter Milan has just lost 1-0 in Singapore to Man United in the pre-season friendly tournament. It's going quite well pre-season. We'll discuss that in a separate video. But yeah, don't forget you can follow me on Twitter, John Foster MUFC. That's JON Foster MUFC. So yeah, just going to knock out another video now about Jesse Lingard. I haven't spoken about him much, to be honest, when I've done the season recaps, but I just thought I'd do a whole video on him. It's probably only going to be about 10 minutes or so. So just for the Man United fans who don't know too much about Lingard, so his bio, basically, he's born in Warrington. He joined Man United in 2000 at the age of 7. He went on loan to a few clubs, Derby, I believe, Leicester, I think it was Brighton and Birmingham City for about 4 seasons, and then he stayed at Man United at 2015 to 2016, where he started to get quite a few more appearances. So I think in the 2015-16 season he had like 25 appearances in the league with 4 goals. The following season, 25 appearances again with just 1 goal. The season after that, 33 appearances and 8 goals. And then last season, 27 appearances with 4 goals. So you can see how he's grown into the first team over the last 4 years. And he is now a starter, whether or not you like it or believe it, or he's a starter, mainly on the right wing. He's not a winger in my opinion. He's more of an attacking centre midfielder, but the formation that we play, and I think process of elimination, he is our right wing option, and we haven't got anybody else to play there really. Sometimes I think this season he'll probably rotate more with James, and even Greenwood, look at the pre-season friendlies, but he is playing on the right wing with Martial on the left and Rashford up front. He has kind of overtook Juan Mata over the last season in regarding to playing on that right hand side, but I don't think many United fans actually want him in that position. That's even if they want him on the pitch at all. My personal opinion is that I think he will stay at the club. I think he'll probably see his time out of the club. I think that the reason why they haven't recruited another right winger is because I think Lingard is very good for Man United's image. There are some things that we'll talk about shortly where it isn't, but generally he has got a strong fan base, and I think regarding his brand, he's probably got the second biggest brand at Man United, Pogba being the first one. So that whole J-Lings thing, you can see why the Woodwards and the Glazer likes that. It will bring a lot of fans in, and even without football now, he will create attention and money. So I can see why the Glazers and the Woodward would want him to play over signing another midfielder. Whether or not that's the right thing to do, and whether or not it's actually their choice, maybe it was Mourinho's and Solskjaer's choice to play him, that could be the case. But I think when we talk about Man United being a brand more than a footballing team as of late, I think Lingard just falls into that category more than most, and Rashford could end up being the same. It's a bit like, if you was creating like a film, you don't necessarily need the best actor. If you put Donald Trump in a film, people would watch it just because it's Donald Trump, or I don't know, anyone. You don't need to necessarily be a good actor to get ratings. If you're a famous person and you're in a film, then people are going to tune in and watch it. That's a bit like Lingard. He's not necessarily the best right winger, but all fans, especially the young fans all over the world, they will be tuning in to watch Lingard play, and the same as Pogba. So that's pretty much the position where we're in with Lingard. He has got, you know, a lot of influence with the youth team. And at one point, I thought when in a close season, when he went over to represent England on international duty, I thought he was actually going to like have a bit of a quiet word to Sancho and try and influence his decision there as well, which would have been nice to bring him in. Ironically, he would have probably put Lingard out the team, but wasn't meant to be, not this season anyway. So that's all the pro. I think there's a few positives. You know, I do think he cares about the club. I think he does care about himself and his brand and his image a lot as well. He's probably thinking to himself he can make more money away from football, and he's probably setting up his career after, you know, after Man United as well, maybe. And he's a young lad and he's enjoying himself, and the way it is at the moment with social media and the way things are, it's not just about the 90 minutes on the pitch anymore, is it? You know, it is about advertising, it is about modelling and social media, Instagram, and, you know, Jay Lings, whether or not you like it or not, is a big part of that. He has done a lot of good things on the pitch as well. I remember backing him, I think it was the 2-1 win against Leicester in the Community Shield. I think it was 2016. That's when I really started to think to myself, you know what, maybe Lingard could actually be first teamer, or at least you know, starting to play more often. I think he scored the opening goal against Leicester, and I think Ibrahimovic scored the second goal, and we ended up winning 2-1 in that match. And that's when I started to like look at Lingard a little bit more. And I do think, you know, he is a good squad player, but whether or not he should be the first teamer, I don't think so. And he's definitely not like worthy of a top 4 team as a starter. But you know, I think if he knuckles down and kind of gets rid of this pre-season that we've just had, if he can get that behind him, then yeah, why can't he just carry on and just be a good substitute? The reason why I just mentioned pre-season is because of the 2 videos that he put up earlier in the summer. One of them was completely stupid. Beans. I don't know if anyone knows why he was saying that. I'm not even bothered. As soon as I saw it on Twitter, I just didn't watch it again and I just blanked it all out. Shame that Rashford was in the video as well. Obviously, he's bringing Rashford there with him. And then there's the argument about, well, he's away from football, he's a couple of weeks off, why can't he just enjoy himself? But in my opinion, when you're a role model and you're putting yourself out there for the world to see, you know, you are still representing the club. If he did it behind closed doors, then it's a completely different subject, but he isn't. He's putting it out there for the whole world to see. And when you're a footballer 24/7, 12 months of the year, not just for the 90 minutes that you're on the pitch. So I can see why there was a lot of outrage on that one. And of course the second video that he put up was even worse. I don't need to go into it. You know, if you've seen it, you've seen it. But it's definitely not for his younger viewers, let's put it that way. I got no idea what he was thinking. No idea. It's for someone who's basing his fan base on youngsters, I just don't understand what he's doing there whatsoever. But admittedly, ever since then, there's been absolutely nothing bad on social media at all. So it does make you think the social or the club has actually spoken to him about it, and you know, there hasn't been anything negative towards him since. If anything, the fans were kind of bigging him up a little bit on the pre-season tour. Regarding the pre-season tour, he's not being as fit as he usually is. You know, he's 27 in December, I believe. He's 26 now. He is quite fit. He's not like overbulked or anything. You know, he's not fat or you know, anything like that. So he is naturally fit, and usually he does start the pre-seasons quite quickly and he gets right in there. But I don't think he's done himself too many favours, to be honest, in this pre-season. When you look at how Greenwood's played, and Jonny and Gomez, Garner, Wan-Bissaka, all these players, they've kind of outshone him a little bit. I don't know if that's because he hasn't took care of himself over last summer. I don't know, but that's just my impression of the first 3 games or so. He hasn't really done himself any favours there. So where do I see him going this summer? I do think he'll probably get a few starts. I think James, even though he started pre-season really well, it is still early days, and it is only against Perth Glory and Leeds. So I do think that Lingard will start. I think it's Lingard's to lose. I think he'll be given another chance. What formation or whatever, I really don't know. I think it looks like that we started off at the 4-3-3, which is the way Solskjaer played back in December when he first took over and won all those games. So it probably will be a 4-3-3. And then Lingard will be one side, Martial and Rashford covering the other two forward positions, with probably Sanchez and James and Greenwood rotating at some point as well. And I hope it does work out for Lingard, I really do. You know, just decided he's been at the club for nearly 20 years. Okay, you know, just age of 7, but he is Man United through and through. And if he can calm the social media side of things down, then, you know, why wouldn't we want him to do well? And I think a lot of people at the club feel the same way. You know, they want these people to do well, but he does need to just be very careful of what he's saying, really. So that's pretty much it. That's all my thoughts on Lingard. Let me know what you guys think. I know a lot of people do actually want to sell him or cash in on him, and that he's not worthy of a top 4 or top 6 team. A lot of people say, would he get into the Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham team? Would he even get into Wolves midfield or Leicester's midfield? You know, when you look at it like that, possibly not. But he's definitely a squad player. Yep, so on that note, I'm going to shoot off. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, John Foster MUFC. And yes, I look forward to hearing from you soon.